The 2003 series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was great for so many different reasons. The plots, the character arcs, the action, the respect to the source material, but perhaps the best thing about this series was the Shredder.
Like the phoenix, I have risen from the ashes. And into my fire, you shall fall.
Hey everybody, Leonardo 2003 here, and today we're going to take a deeper look at the Shredder from the 2003 series. But there's just one problem for some people. Who actually is the Shredder? It definitely confused me when I was a turtle tot. There's the Utrom Shredder, who is also the Feudal Japan Shredder, the Tengu Shredder, aka the Demon Shredder, the Cyber Shredder, the Mutant Shredder clones, Karai is the Shredder, hell, he even had a dragon form. Mikey and Donnie can sum up my thoughts as I watched for the first time as a child.
Real Shredder, True Shredder, Utrom Shredder? How many Shredders are there?
This many. If you're not familiar with the 2003 series, this could obviously be pretty confusing. So let's take a deeper look at each incarnation of the Shredder in the 2003 series. I feel like I have to start things off with the Utrom Shredder, as he is the main villain through the first 3 seasons of the series. Shirel, also known as Duke Akureds, Toranon, Kako Naso, Oroku Saki, and of course, the Shredder, is a completely evil and psychotic red Utrom. The Utroms are a peaceful, technologically advanced alien race who become allies to the Turtles throughout the series. Shirel was a sociopathic bad apple in the bunch, and was responsible for millions of deaths throughout the universe. He was the greatest, most dangerous criminal in the entire world. He makes Osama bin Laden and Adolf Hitler look like they committed petty crimes. After 3 centuries of searching, an Utrom ship finally captured Shirel, and was en route to returning him to their homeworld to put him on trial for all of his crimes. But someone who was able to kill millions of beings for centuries while not being captured is definitely capable of escaping the Utroms once again. This guy is the hide-and-seek champion of the universe. Shirel escaped, sabotaged a ship that he was on, and caused it to crash land on Earth. This is where Shirel began his reign of destruction on the planet Earth. They landed in feudal Japan, and Shirel was able to scurry off. The Utroms salvaged the technology that they had left on their ship to build exosuits shaped like humans so that they could remain unknown. Shirel stole one of these suits and began to learn martial arts, and then he stole the persona of the legendary Shredder as his own. Of course, we'll dive into the original Shredder later on in the video. Upon learning martial arts and becoming successor to the Tengu Shredder, Shirel created the Foot Clan. The initial goal of the Foot was to seek revenge on the Utroms. The Utroms were very aware of Shirel's escape, so they founded the Guardians, a secret society to protect basically the entire planet Earth from Shirel's destruction. Thousands of years passed, with Shirel planning his revenge and the Utroms searching for him and protecting the innocent people of Earth. During this time, Shirel has humans forge the Sword of Tengu out of Utrom metal, but instead of thanking the humans who forged this very powerful sword for him, Shirel murdered them instead. Just add them to the list of millions of casualties at the hands of Shirel. Sometime after the World War II time period, which is around the 1950s, Shirel found the Utrom's secret base. He was able to find it through Yukio Mishimi, the estranged best friend of Hamato Yoshi, Master Splinter's master. Mishimi was incredibly spiteful and jealous of Hamato Yoshi, so instead of joining the Guardians like Yoshi, he turned on them. The Utroms were able to escape from Shirel's wrath just in time, as they relocated to New York City. Shirel got word that they were now in New York, so he planned to follow them. He established his human alias, Oroku Saki. We'll talk about who the original Oroku Saki is later, as his story goes hand in hand with the Tengu Shredders. Shirel made Oroku Saki a very successful and powerful businessman, which allowed him to not only be in control of the crime, but influential in politics as well. This evil Utrom is a diabolical genius. Also around this time, Shirel found an abandoned girl named Karai. He took her in and raised her as his own, teaching her everything that he knew about martial arts. He did let her know that he was an Utrom at some point in raising her, which is something that he never wanted anyone else to know. Karai was always somewhat good at heart, but Shirel brainwashed her into being evil and cruel. He left Karai in Japan to run the Foot Clan, while he came to New York with his new New York branch of the Foot. After arriving, he also teamed up with the Purple Dragons. Their leader was Hun, who would later become Shirel's right-hand man. Shirel also had the Foot Mystics under his control. Again, we'll explain their story later, but because he had the heart of Tengu, he was able to control those very elemental mystic warriors. And then he had the Elite Guard, along with the Foot Ninja, the Elite Guard being his most skilled assassins. Unable to find the Utroms, Shirel locates Hamato Yoshi, who escaped to New York with the Utroms. The Guardian would not tell Shirel where the Utroms were hiding, so he was murdered right in front of his pet rat, Splinter. Splinter fled the scene, and that same day is when he found the turtles and the ooze that mutated them all. After 15 years of training from Master Splinter, the turtles began encountering the Foot Clan throughout New York, and would also foil many of Shirel's plans. The turtles even ended up getting the Sword of Tengu that was talked about earlier. Once this happened, Shirel began targeting these turtles like he was the Utroms. After some more Foot and Turtle interactions, Shirel found out that the turtles had no clue of who the Utroms were. He seized the opportunity to brainwash them onto his side, luring Leonardo into his skyscraper. But Leo brought the message back to Splinter, who informed the turtles of who Oroku Saki, aka Shirel, really was. The Turtles, Splinter, and the Shredder had a few big battles throughout Season 1 of the series. In The Shredder Strikes Back, Shirel and the Foot nearly killed Leonardo.
He's back. The Shredder.
And then, he locked the Turtles and their allies in a walk-in freezer and set the entire building on fire. The Turtles managed to escape, retreating to upstate New York to recover. The real climax to Season 1 was the return to New York Saga. After crazy battles between the Turtles and the entire Foot Clan, including 3 mutant clones of the Shredder, the stage was set. Mano a mano, Shirel versus Leo. They jumped into the air, and Leo won the duel, decapitating Shirel's Shredder suit. Of course, the Turtles and even Splinter had no clue that he was an Utrom, so this actually meant nothing. But it did make for one of the show's biggest plot holes. The Guardian, who was fully aware of who Shirel was, thought the Turtles defeated the Shredder by cutting off his head, even though he knows the Shredder is an Utrom. Maybe he just never got the memo. Shirel returned in Season 2, finding both the Turtles and the Utroms in the TCRI building, aka the Utrom Secret Base. After another awesome battle, Shirel had to reveal his true identity to everyone. Shirel tried to blow up the entire building, but everyone managed to escape besides him. He blew up the building, and again, everyone assumed that he died. He somehow survived, and was taken care of by Karai, and his body was regenerated by technology that the Foot technicians were able to create. All of the villains throughout New York that were under Shirel's control had a civil war, but that ended quickly after Shirel returned as the Shredder. The next time Shirel escaped death was the episode Rogue in the House, where he is defeated in another explosion on his freighter ship. This time, the Turtles had help from a Triceraton named Zog, who sacrificed his own life to kill Shirel. But this Utrom just doesn't stay down. When he returns again, he is possibly cooler than ever. He uses his Saki persona to take advantage of New York City after the Triceraton invasion. He spent millions to rebuild the city and gain more political power. His true intention was salvaging leftover Triceraton technology so he could build a ship to finally escape from Earth. He even held a going-away party the night that he was planning to leave Earth. He told all of the wealthy humans in attendance that he would be back someday most likely to kill every living thing on Earth that was against him. His going away party had plenty of unexpected issues, including the Turtles, the Earth Protection Force, and even Baxter Stockman trying to sabotage his plan. Shirel, Karai, and Shirel's then top scientist, Dr. Chaplin, successfully boarded the ship, but the Turtles and Splinter were able to get on it at the last possible second. The last battle for quite some time between Shirel and anyone then ensued. It was crazy. He almost finished them all off, and he even threw Leonardo into Karai's katana, stabbing him right in the chest. In defeat, the Turtles had only one choice: to use the Fugitoid program to blow up the ship, killing themselves in the process. But just as the ship was about to blow, a nearby Utrom ship basically stopped time and evacuated the ship before it exploded. Shirel was finally put on trial in the Utrom homeworld for all of his crimes across the universe. Here were some of his convictions: launching an attack on the planet Enethone where over 1 million innocent inhabitants perished, inciting and funding a civil war on another planet to mine raw materials without restriction, resulting in over 3.2 million deaths, and trying to overthrow the Utrom government many times. Shirel was found guilty on all counts, and was sentenced to eternal exile on a random ice asteroid somewhere in space. He was finally defeated. Shirel would basically not appear again, technically until Season 7, the final season of the series. He did pop up a few times through flashbacks, visions, and nightmares though. In Season 7, the Turtles are sent to the future by Viral. In this future, we see a war of the Shredders going down. The Demon Shredder, Utrom Shredder, and Cyber Shredder battling to the death. However, the Turtles escaped this reality later in the episode. A Shredder Wars Season 8 was planned, but the series was ended before it could come to fruition. If you want to learn more about the lost episodes and seasons of the 2003 series, check out my Lost Episodes video. Shirel made his final appearance in Turtles Forever, the grand finale of the 2003 series, and debatably one of the best things ever from TMNT. The 1987 Shredder located Shirel on the asteroid and brought him back to Earth via the Technodrome. Using Utrom technology, Shirel turned the Technodrome into an even more badass weapon. Shirel went to different dimensions, but each dimension showed a different incarnation of the Ninja Turtles being superior. He knew he must destroy the Turtles at their source, Turtle Prime. This was the 1984 original Turtles. After getting into the Mirage Turtles dimension, Shirel was confronted by those Turtles, the 87 and the 2003 Turtles, along with 87 Shredder and Krang, 2003 Splinter, and Karai. Shirel was trying to destroy the entire dimension using the Technodrome. In hilarious fashion, Bebop and Rocksteady turned on the Technodrome laser, inadvertently obliterating Shirel. And that was it. That was the grand finale. Shirel was actually presumably dead. And I guarantee that there's plenty of casual TMNT fans out there who thought that this was the real Shredder from the 2003 series. But absolutely not. Like I said, Shirel just stole the identities of the Shredder and Oroku Saki to basically gain respect and power on Earth. Now, we're gonna get into the origins of the one true Shredder and its various forms and identities. In the year 300 AD in ancient Japan, a Tengu named the Shredder rose to destroy not only Japan, but the entire world. It's actually unknown how this Tengu originated, but a Tengu can be defined as a legendary creature in Japanese folk religion and are usually either Shinto gods or supernatural beings. So this Tengu, called the Shredder, was the first incarnation of the Shredder in the series. The Emperor of Japan called upon the 5 greatest warriors in the land to potentially stop the seemingly invincible Shredder. The most skilled of these warriors was Oroku Saki. And yes, this was the original Oroku Saki, who Shirel impersonated. These warriors were given special armor with mystical powers to combat the beast. And obviously, these pieces of armor all closely resemble the Shredder armor that Shirel used. Against all odds, the warriors were able to overpower the original Shredder. Oroku Saki was ready to give the fatal blow, but just before he could stab the Tengu in the chest, The original Shredder was able to telepathically connect with Saki. He promised that if Saki allowed him into his soul, Saki would be all-powerful and rule the entire world. Saki greedily accepted the request, and allowed his soul and the Tengus to merge. Saki basically picked up where the original Shredder left off, and conquered Japan. This version of the Shredder is commonly known as the Tengu Shredder, or the Demon Shredder. The other 4 warriors who helped defeat the Shredder Tengu went around the world, learning new mystic powers to beat the odds again and destroy this Tengu Shredder. Once they returned to confront the Tengu Shredder, he revealed that he is able to manifest into a giant dragon avatar. But thanks to their training across the world, the 4 warriors were able to transform into their dragon avatars. They overpowered the Tengu Shredder back to his normal form, but they realized that he would never be able to be killed. So they sealed him away in a coffin and hid his helmet and his gauntlet. If his body, helmet, and gauntlet were ever to be reunited, the Tengu Shredder would rise once again. So these 4 warriors established themselves as the Ninja Tribunal and watched over these dangerous objects. So that is the actual true origin of how the Shredder came to be. I'm guessing that after Shredder crash landed in Japan, he began to hear the stories and tales of the Shredder and Oroku Saki, and he saw a lot of himself in those individuals. The Shredder Tengu he related to as they both wanted domination and destruction of the entire world, and Saki because of his selfish and greedy decision to sell his soul to the devil. So when it came time for him to have his new identities on Earth, he chose them. But of course, the Tengu Shredder's story doesn't end there. But to finish that story, we must dive into Karai's tenure as the Shredder. She did first wear his armor in the City at War episodes in Season 2 while Shredder was recovering from a massive explosion, but there wasn't much to it. The real story basically picks up where Shredder's left off. Shredder was exiled on the ice asteroid, and her, along with Dr. Chaplin, were sent to prison on Earth by the Utroms. When she got out, she took up the mantle of the Shredder. Her obsession became avenging her father, which meant killing the Turtles and their allies. Karai's first attack on the Turtles was on a psychic plane, from the episode Bad Day. The Mystics are who attacked the Turtles through a living nightmare. Since Karai possessed the Shredder's heart of Tengu, she was now able to control the Mystics. But the Mystics barely respected Shredder, so they had no respect for her, and that feeling was definitely mutual for Karai. The Mystics truly only respected their original master, the Tengu Shredder. Anyway, later on, Karai and her foot led an all-out assault on the Turtles' lair. She thought that she killed them all, besides Leo, who wasn't present. But they all survived, and Leo returned to protect his family. That assault on the Turtles' lair was definitely the peak of Karai's time as the Shredder. Now, we segue right into the resurrection of the Tengu Shredder, who came back as the Demon Shredder. The Demon and Tengu Shredders are the same exact being, but I consider the Season 5 resurrection to be the Demon Shredder. But that's just my opinion based on the design, he just looks like a demon, since there's no clear answer. At the end of Season 4, Agent Bishop had the Turtles steal the heart of Tengu from Karai. But not only were the Turtles being taken advantage of by Bishop, he was being tricked by the Foot Mystics. Basically, Donnie was turned into a monster inadvertently by Agent Bishop, and Bishop was the only one that could cure him. So he requested that the Turtles retrieve him the heart of Tengu from Karai, because he was told it was very powerful. But after the Turtles get the heart to Bishop, the Mystics tricked him and Stockman into destroying it, setting them completely free. The Mystics then turned into more powerful forms, and succeeded in resurrecting their master, the Demon Shredder. The Demon Shredder and the Mystics went straight to New York, anxious to cause destruction. In particular, they attacked Karai for being an imposter of the Shredder's name. Karai did have some time to prepare for the Demon Shredder's arrival, and had mystical weapons ready. But the demon's power was much greater than anything that the Foot Technicians could manufacture. A memorable moment in this fight was when Karai stabbed the demon, and he actually almost played dead, His helmet fell off, and his Oroku Saki face was shown to Karai. For a split second, Karai was distraught, but then the demon turned into, well, a demon. The turtles saved the day here, and were able to turn into their dragon avatars and get a momentary victory against the Demon Shredder and the Mystics. The Demon Shredder was able to turn New York into hell on earth. The turtles teamed up with many of their allies, along with some old enemies, like the Purple Dragons and Bishop's army, and succeeded in defeating the Demon Shredder, and basically saving the world. In a feel-good ending, Hamato Yoshi's spirit dealt the finishing blow and ended the demon's existence once and for all. Seriously, this moment will make any fan feel the feels. What a touching moment. Besides a few flashbacks and alternate realities in the final 2 seasons, those were the last times that we see Karai as the Shredder, along with the Demon Shredder. The most notable alternate reality appearance was in the final season, where the Utrom Shredder, Demon Shredder, and Cyber Shredder were all in one huge battle. And that brings me to the final main incarnation of the Shredder in the 2003 series, Cyber Shredder. The Cyber Shredder was pretty crazy, and was the main villain for the final season. Get this, before Shirel died, he used Utrom technology to make a cyber copy of himself, which could be brought back to life in case he ever actually died. However, it didn't work out the way he planned. It was locked up in the Foot database, but Viral, the living computer virus from Season 6, was infected by Shirel's file, turning her into a host for the Cyber Shredder. Basically, Viral was no more, and the Cyber Shredder was an artificial Shirel. At first, the Cyber Shredder couldn't get out of cyberspace on his own. The turtles first met with him in cyberspace. He saw that the turtles built a cyber portal as they were searching for data bits of Master Splinter. He thought that this could be his one way out of the cyber world and into the real world. After a few more plans from the Cyber Shredder, including hacking Dr. Stockman's cyborg body and tricking the turtles into thinking that they were his foot soldiers, he was ready to get into reality. Through this entire process, the Cyber Shredder had Khan as his right-hand man. Khan was leading a division of the Foot Clan. He is speculated amongst fans to be one of the Shredder's elite guard. With Khan's help, the Cyber Shredder's first attempt at getting into reality didn't work out so well. Donnie was able to sabotage his portal, causing him to come into reality partially digital, and making it easy for the turtles to send him back to cyberspace. Khan and the Foot eventually were able to construct their own portal, allowing the Cyber Shredder to finally get into reality. Once he arrived, he was ultimately beaten by the turtles, thanks to Mikey, and he returned to cyberspace once again. However, the energy that he absorbed in his defeat made him come back stronger than ever. He made his final return in the final episode, at April and Casey's wedding. Him, Khan, and the Foot unleashed an attack on the entire wedding. Donatello used his brains to destroy the Cyber Shredder the same way that he destroyed Viral, with a blast from the Turtle X. This brought an end to all incarnations of the Shredder in the entire series. Of course, Shirel returned after this in Turtles Forever, but we already talked about that. There was actually another Shredder planned for an episode in the second season of Fast Forward, but that season was cancelled. This Shredder would have been a Triceraton Shredder, the Tri-Shreddatron. It would have been Shirel taking over a Triceraton body. As if we didn't have enough incarnations of the Shredder already. So, in conclusion, you can really see how the writers of the 2003 show, along with Peter Laird, really wanted to expand on the Shredder and his backstory. They never let the persona of the Shredder die, until the very last scenes of the finale. In every season, some incarnation of the Shredder was the main villain, besides Fast Forward. Seasons 1, 2, and 3, along with Turtles Forever, were Shirel. Season 4 was Karai, Season 5 was the Tengu Shredder, and Season 7 was the Cyber Shredder. If I had to pick a favorite, it'd have to be Shirel. Although he was basically an imposter of the Shredder, his sociopathic personality and his backstory are gold. We all know how controversial it was to have the main Shredder be an Utrom, but I loved it. The story was well written and really took risks. Of course, the Tengu Shredder, Karai, and Cyber Shredder all were great incarnations as well. At the end of the day, all of these incarnations of the Shredder are what makes the 2003 series a lot of what it was. If you like these twists and turns of the Shredder story, then the 2003 series is probably your favorite incarnation of TMNT. It's definitely mine. If you made it all the way to this point in the video, you are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any information that I may have missed. Also, leave a comment on which 2003 series character I should take a deeper look at next. And of course, let me know what you thought of all the different incarnations of the Shredder throughout the 2003 series. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with the top 10 episodes of Season 3 of the TMNT 2012 series, along with plenty of Rise of the TMNT videos. So thank you so much for watching again for the third time, and peace out.